Rowing the Charles, running Heartbreak Hill, and golfing at Granite Links. All the activities that put the great in Greater Boston. With its stunning skyline view and top 100 best in America rankings, Granite Links is a must-play destination for golfers near and far. The course and restaurants welcome visitors, or become a member and enjoy full club privileges. To experience the best in the U.S. right here in Boston, visit Granite Links, or to learn more, visit granitelinksgolfclub.com.
Welcome back to Steele Nazz, brought to you in part by Hedge Better from our headquarters in Braintree, Massachusetts. Back here once again tonight, we have Patriots reporter for Pat's Pulpit of SB Nation, Ryan Spagnoli, coming on the show to shoot the shit about the Cowboys loss the other day and what's ahead, Jets game, a bunch of games coming up, and the chances for the Patriots to make the playoffs. We also snuck in some Tom Brady talk too. Afterwards, the Red Sox are on the brink of elimination. Falling 2 games in a row, 3 games to 2 down against the Astros. Just a couple tough games. We'll have your recap on that. And are they going to survive the weekend, or are they going to, dust off in the wind just like the Yankees and the Rays here? Also, we'll have our NFL picks and a little Celtics talk.
Had to be a cheap shot, huh?
It just had to be. It's a little Celtics talk as they tipped off in a double OT loss to the New York Knicks last night. New York Knicks looking pretty good. Here we go with Pat's Pulpit of SB Nation's Ryan Spagnoli. And that was Pat's Pulpit's Ryan Spagnoli. I thought it was good Pat's talk. His stats about J.C. Jackson really thought spoke loud there in terms of he's always on a top receiver every game, and just good analysis and a good feedback side by side here. What did you think, Steele?
Got to keep shipping them out to away games.
Yeah.
Guys on fire.
Guys on
away
fire.
Game.
Yeah, 2-0.
Just need to turn it around at home. Turn it around at home, and then fucking good luck, John.
For sure. And we'll get right into, the brink of things of how the Red Sox are now on elimination. See what I did there? Down 3 games to 2 after you thought, it was 2 games to 1. Sure, there's a bunch of games left, but they were out hitting the shit out of them. It seemed like everything was going the Red Sox way. And then in the 9th inning of Game 4, things just turned around. And, Altuve, Bregman's always been there. Yeah, that was in the 8th to tie things. And then they really let things go with the whole like strike, no strike thing with Tucker. I'm not really on board with that. I thought, if you look from the side, if you look from like the face coming out, it's kind of like, all right, it maybe went over the plate, but if you go back to it, it's really a hit and miss call.
That overhead view of it is absolute blasphemy.
Yeah, it's blasphemy.
It was a curveball, dude. So it went over the plate and looked more over the plate.
But it was late. It was late.
Yeah,
it was late.
Dude, I saw that.
It doesn't matter. That missed call, he just blew up after that. You can't.
Yeah, no, he did go to shit. Yeah, he just went.
And Core had it lined up perfectly. The right pitcher's coming in. You end the series right there, and then. If that home run by Altuve doesn't get given up, everything was
you don't give up 9 in that inning anyway.
And then Eovaldi shit his pants.
Whatever it was.
He better make up for it if the Red Sox win. And tomorrow is it tomorrow?
Yeah, Friday night. Nathan Eovaldi's been the best pitcher on this team all season. I wouldn't rather anyone else that come in and pitch Game 6 than him. That being said, this is what happens when the Red Sox don't hit. They exploit their pure weakness, and you even see it in these ball games here. The game they scored 9 runs in the first 2-3 innings or whatever. The final score was 9-5. How did those 5 runs happen? Their bullpen sucks. Even the game after they kicked the shit out of them, but even the bullpen let up some more runs there. I get you're just putting guys in spots because the game's already over. But in what I'm trying to say is the Red Sox pitching has been awful this season, and when the team doesn't hit, they scored 3 runs in the last 2 games. Obviously, that's not going to win you a ball game, but the 2021 Boston Red Sox are not going to win a 1-0 game. They're not going to do it. It's not going to happen, especially against the Astros here.
And in this AL entire playoffs, it's just been a pitching hellhole. No Glasnow, no Verlander, no McCullers, no the Red, no healthy Sale. It's just a nut. The NL should win the World Series.
They should wipe it away, but you never know. Anyone be hot. Yeah.
And the Red Sox do have that hot lineup, especially if, Kike didn't do what he did, the previous 17 games.
Well, especially the last game. I mean, who's that guy that just pitched for the Astros?
Framber Valdez.
No,
he was great
right now.
He was great. He was
okay. He was unbelievable.
Yeah.
He looked like a god out there.
Yeah.
He looked like fucking...
That's my point, though. The Red Sox bats have gone silent, and they need to wake up. Otherwise, they're going home.
No, yeah.
It's not even be close. Yeah. For me, I really see the demise of Hunter Renfroe. 30-plus home runs, over 90 RBIs in the regular season. Didn't really show too much in the Rays series. I think he had like a hit or two, but obviously didn't play as bad as he's playing right now. He's shown, actually, at least he has one more hit than Brandon Lau. There's another.
Has he still been crushing the outfield?
Red
I
Sox-
haven't been watching.
he
it.
has-
He overthrew a guy last night.
Red Sox fans
Oh,
turning
did he?
on Renfroe.
It's
It's
tough.
just such. You guys are cowards.
You
Where-
turned in on him
It's
either.
an
You didn't
absolute
re-sign him.
fucking joke.
You didn't
Where-
re-sign him.
Where's fan
It
base in the
doesn't matter.
country?
He
It
just
does.
you just got him for free. He carried you all season, and
Country.
now you guys want his fucking head.
Well, you know what? I never do it, but I waited for the baseball hour with Mr. Maz there, who refuses to have a Maz versus Naz sit down, and they were shitting on Hunter Renfroe, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to ask a legitimate question. The legitimate question would have been, if they actually cared about answering my call, which they don't, is he going to get paid? Like, he's making $3 million this year. He had a terrific season, but is his downfall in the postseason going to cost him a paycheck? It could. It definitely could.
They'd be dumb to.
Yeah, no. I'm not even saying the Red Sox. I'm just saying anyone in general.
Oh,
Like,
no,
are the
no fucking way.
Are the
Will.
Mariners going to give him like 15 mil? Like, probably.
Yeah, definitely. Minnesota Twins would love to have another just big bat and just choke against the Yankees in the playoffs.
Yeah, future Indian, 100%.
See, I'm actually respecting Antan here. I respect Antan actually answering me and not Tony Maserati here.
I mean, how could
Sure.
you not? That guy holds runners at third. He mashes 30 home runs in today's day and age. That's what you want.
And he doesn't work out.
And yeah, he cost the Rays the fucking series for being a fucking fat ass.
Get over it. Get back to therapy.
If that was
You're doing
me in
good,
right
man.
field, then it would have literally the same thing would have happened. But it's unbelievable.
Back on the game last night, Chris Sale came out five strong innings, and you know what? I put the blame on Alex Cora on this one because he had first and third in the fourth inning, and he struck the next two guys out like a barrel out of hell. Bat out of hell, whatever you want to call it. I don't even know the saying anymore. Let's because the barrels were fucking bouncing
it's
up
a
and
bat out of
and
hell.
down. Because I rephrased it. All right,
Didn't work.
Anton, get off. me.
Didn't work.
Anyway,
Let the man speak. Let him speak.
anyway, fifth inning
deserve it.
goes down 1-2-3. The next inning after that, like a 5-pitch walk where he looked terrible. And you know what? They didn't even have anyone in the bullpen. This guy was around like 90 pitches, and they didn't even have anyone ready to go. That's when things went south, and that's when he let up his only earned runs of the game. Well, besides the home run
home
from
run
Alvarez.
early. And that was a good pitch,
Alvarez
too.
had his number. How about that?
That
How
was
about
a good
that,
pitch.
too?
That
How
was a
about that,
good
too? It was second and third with like, I think, 2 outs. And this was the game here. It was 1-0. And second and third with 2 outs, Alvarez comes up for the third time. And he ripped a home run, and I think he had a single that was also like a line drive. And they chose the pitch to Alvarez because of probably Chris Sale's ego saying, let me have another crack at him. It's a double down the left field line, 2 more runs score. They put Brazier in, and, hell breaks loose in a 9-1 rout by the Houston Astros, 3-2 going back home. Now, I will say, going back home, Game 6, Friday night.
The crowd.
Under the lights. Under the lights.
Oh, no,
Fans.
not the crowd.
Those fans, they're probably going to be going crazy.
That Houston crowd's pretty rowdy too.
Pretty
How did
rowdy,
the fans
too.
go? How did the fans go at Fenway?
They went
1 and 2?
They went pretty well in the first game.
1 and 2.
Even Hunter Renfroe said the fans, have a stake.
Oh, Hunter Renfroe, you fucking best friend.
I think the fans only worked against Tampa because Tampa, your fans sucked. They do. I mean,
No shit.
like
Fans do not fucking work. It doesn't matter. Adam
does.
is a fucking
It does
idiot.
matter.
it's the reason you guys can't say you've won a World Series.
Pin drop at Fenway.
It is 100% not.
Mic drop.
You guys have 3 and you have
He's
like,
in the producer chair, buddy. He's in the
you have
producer
4
chair.
total World Series in like 200 years. We have been around for like 20.
Good, and we have 4
well-
in the last 20.
I do think fans are a fucking factor. They definitely are.
This fan bullshit. You got to be fucking kidding me.
We'll see.
I mean, it's not as much of a factor as pitching. Don't get. It's not an
Chiefs
over.
have the loudest stadium in
Yeah.
recorded. How many? What do they got? What are their Super Bowls? At?
I don't know how
Shut
many.
the
I know they
fuck
got
up.
a couple.
None.
They got one.
You know what?
They get a Super Bowl.
I'll get to the.
They have like several, but
We
Several.
we
the
had
Chiefs,
we
they
had
definitely have like
our,
2 old ones.
They don't have any like with the best quarterback in fucking football. Fans,
They have
come
1.
on, give me a
We're on
break.
baseball. We had series predictions. I think all of ours are. No. Steele's alive. Sox in 7.
Mine is as well. I did Astros in 6.
Also at Braves in 5.
I had
there.
Sox in
Throw
6,
that out there.
and Antan was too much of a pussy last week to stay in the studio, so he didn't even get a pick in.
I think Craig had him in 5. Sox in 5, so he's done.
Well, I will.
Then I wasn't. No, then I wasn't on if Craig had a pick.
I know.
No, you were in. You just ran out like a
That's
little
all
I was
schoolgirl.
never on with Craig.
So we'll have revisions. Steele doesn't need to make a revision unless you want to
I'm
switch
not
a pick.
revisioning
No.
this late.
No
What does it
way.
matter?
I mean,
No.
I'm gonna
There's
have to.
not a chance the Red Sox don't win.
I'll give you this. It's gonna be Dodgers over the Astros in 4.
take the under, right? Well, no, like fuck off, dude. I was looking for like, do you think the Astros are gonna finish it, or do you think the Red
I
Sox
just
gonna
said
come
the
back?
Dodgers over the Astros in 4.
All right.
did.
Well, I wanted to see some analysis about how the Astros are gonna get there, but looks
How
like
are the Dodgers going to get there is a better question.
Yeah, they're down
What's that
3-1.
series? Isn't that a
game?
2-1
The
series?
series is over tonight. It's 3-1. It's
The
gonna
Dodgers
be over.
are down to starting Joe Kelly, which just like shows where they're at pitching wise, and like if they don't win tonight, like that's just
If
over.
you think the Dodgers are coming back, Sox might be coming back.
Yeah, I think
I'm just giving my take. Jesus
I was
fucking
gonna say,
Christ.
don't let the Sox win tomorrow night. Don't let them
agree.
happen.
Yeah, Game 7's so wild.
Evaldi, big start here. Big start. They're obviously going to have to win a low-scoring ball game unless the hitting parade comes back. But I'm not really counting on it. I hope I can expect timely hitting and for Hunter Renfroe finally to get a fucking hit.
Are you worried about the bats? Because the bat, yeah,
I'm
the
worried.
bat-
I'm
when the
worried.
bats don't look good, this team
Who does
look
Who do
ugly.
the Astros have pitching tomorrow?
Nobody good.
Nobody good. They had a dead corpse of Zach Greinke out there the other day, and they still won. That was tough.
Yeah, I was shocked. I didn't even know he still played.
So it's Luis Garcia who threw, I think, Game 3 when they scored.
He didn't make it out of the first. I don't think.
He got
I could just see it. His ERA said 45 for the playoffs.
he got he
Does
he
it
got
really?
hurt. Yeah, that was when
Definitely like half an inning. but, like,
Martinez hit the granny. Yeah, that was I think
Yeah,
it was.
that was it.
Yeah. For me, I think they're gonna win tomorrow night, and even not Anton, even Magic Mike can throw Game 7. Game 7 might be one of the greatest games we've seen in quite some time. It's gonna happen.
Houston has that Yerkwoody guy. I know he didn't
Yeah.
really
Well,
pitch well, but he is a solid.
That's going to be the best part about if Saturday happens. It's all hands on deck. Anyone's available.
yeah.
I don't even if Evaldi throws like 85 pitches tomorrow night.
Verdugo. Throw Verdugo out there. He said he wants to pitch.
It's all hands on deck, and it's all terrible pitchers. it's like
I want a slugfest. 25.
Give me 2020. Yeah,
Give me 25, 24. Fucking
2020 and like
20
the 11th.
innings.
Yeah.
neither side has like a guy who can just dominate you. Like none.
No,
I
yeah,
think
there's
Karen
a guy.
Houck is the best fucking.
I do say
Hopefully
that.
Evaldi. I'd like Evaldi to
he's
dominate
pitching
tomorrow.
tomorrow.
I know. I hope he dominates.
I do say to Anton's point though, and Steele's, and probably anyone's point that whoever comes out of this AL it's going to be a tough World Series. Both these teams in the NL are. Even the Dodgers are down 3-1. The Braves are just dynamite pitching. I mean, that guy Max. It's not Fried, right? Is it Fried? He's incredible.
Ian Anderson's playoff ERA is like under 2.
They've walked off twice. Is it Albies? He's been terrific.
Freddie Freeman
a
Freddie
man.
Freeman
and,
as well.
and then who's the guy they've been talking about the whole? He had the walk off, hit the game 1. He's kind of an underrated, undershadowed guy. Big, tall white guy. Just
Austin
absolutely
Riley?
rakes. Austin Riley, yeah, terrific player.
And they don't even
No,
have
yeah.
Acuna.
yeah, that's what they
yeah.
don't
Best
have
player in
Acuna.
baseball.
Like Freeman's definitely the one. If you like don't have like your team isn't in it, like that is the guy. Like you should be rooting for that
Right.
guy to win it all. Like you should want that guy
Max
to get a ring.
Scherzer is who I'm rooting.
Obviously,
He's got a ring, though.
this goes without
Like, get
saying.
get Freeman the win.
If the Red Sox don't take care of business, I'm all about Atlanta.
Yeah,
I'm all
that's what
about
saying,
Atlanta.
Yeah.
Used to be a huge Atlanta guy. Huge. Like, welcome to Atlanta
Where the players play.
where the players play.
Well, we'll move on from baseball.
Steele, I just realized I
Mike,
took one of
thanks for your
Steele's beers. I hope that wasn't your last one.
What a piece.
Was it your last
No,
one?
you're fine.
All right.
We'll get on to our NFL bets of the week. We got week 7 here. Big Patriots game come up. We actually didn't get our picks off with Ryan there, so we'll let it rip now. The Patriots at home hosting the Jets -7. Jets are coming off a bye, so they know all about the Patriots right now. I think with the bye week, with playing them one time, I think it's going to be harder than said than done. Either way, I'm still taking the Pats by 7. I think Pats win by 7, by the half point. By the half point, people.
I as much as they've struggled and they're 2-4, whatever, I am still far from like taking the Jets versus the Pats. Like Pats, let's go. Will it be closer than will Zach Wilson definitely be better? 100%. It'll probably be a better game. Half point. I still like them to win. I'd say they win by 10.
Take my fandom card if you'd like. I'm taking Jets money line. I really
Get the
think.
fuck off this podcast.
I really
Get
think-
out of this room, dude.
I think second time around coming
not
off
kidding.
a bye.
Get out of
This
the
Jets defense is no joke. The Patriots are playing teams tight. It's going to be a close game, and then it's going to come down, to a possession. I think 7 is way too much.
I think
Talking to that
seven's a
goddamn
lot.
Mike.
I'm glad no one.
How
I'm glad
close
no
can
one
I
could
be?
hear that.
Look at how close we all
get.
get.
I'm glad no one could hear.
I'm pretty close. I think Pat's
I
by
wasn't
7
making out with
by
that
half
fucking
point.
thing. It's my show now, producing.
There we go.
You're giving me flat lines up here. All right.
We're just living it.
But if you didn't hear Anton's pick because he was too far from the mic, you picked the
Jets money
Jets.
line.
Pick Jets money line,
like
which
an absolute scumbag.
he's an idiot, but he's 5 times more of an idiot than I thought. I guess we'll see on Sunday. We'll see. Moving
This
on.
Pats game is a toss-up. I don't get a pick anymore because
Oh,
I'm
you
not
got
in
a
the
pick.
seat.
Yeah, you got a pick. Go.
Can't
Now.
wait for it.
Give me the Jets.
I need analysis.
He just tag teamed
Get out
with
of here
Anton.
too. Get out of here too.
All right, moving on to the locks.
But wait, my analysis for that is you said they've been playing good, and I don't trust the Pats.
Get out of the
Okay.
seat, dude.
Great job.
Great analysis there. We're moving on.
Maybe speak away from them, Mike, next time.
Joined by Patriots reporter for Pat's Pulpit of SB Nation, Ryan Spagnoli. Ryan, appreciate you coming on the show. I know this, the season's been kind of down right now. What you been kind of up to, and how you living?
Not too much, man. It's definitely been a tough year, right? I mean, they're 0-4 at home. It's crazy to even think that. You used to just any home game, the Patriots were a mortal lock, right? Now it's the complete opposite. So, but yeah, not too much, man. Obviously, working Monday to Friday, cover the team on the weekend, so can't complain. It's definitely busy, but
Truly grinding. Yeah, no, and I'm not sure. Are you there for game days, or are you just riding behind the scenes?
no, I'm there for game days.
Oh,
I'm
awesome.
not there every day. Yeah, but
Yeah.
I'm there on Sundays. I went to the Jets game. I flew down to Houston.
Awesome.
Yeah, so I mean, it's definitely been cool. You get a cool little access down there. So
That's
At,
nice.
at least you got the Jets game.
yeah, right.
That was a win.
Hey, Mac Jones. Hey, when Mac Jones is a Hall of Famer, I'll say I saw his first win. So
There you go. There you go.
You just mentioned two road wins too. So have you covered any home games? You covered all the home games too.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
The only one I didn't go to was I was in the stands for the Tampa game because I was like,
Yeah, that you
I
gotta be a
had
fan there.
my dad had tickets. I was like, I gotta go. I gotta see this, and get a better feel for that than in a press box that you can hear a pin drop in. You know what I mean? So,
How'd you like it? Good game, right?
what'd you say?
Good game.
Good
Tampa
game. How'd you like it?
Oh,
Yeah, it was a good game. It really was. I mean, if it didn't rain, that was just like I said, the only shitty part about it. But just the whole buildup, it felt like a Super Bowl, honestly, with
Yeah.
everything. And they played well. Mac did well.
Brady didn't
they
exactly
should've
bring
won
a
that
zip.
game.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I'll go one more career question. You've covered games and stuff. What's the craziest, locker room or even just in the presser, anything you've witnessed that you can kind of share with us?
So I actually have a funny story from 2 weeks. What game was it? The Saints game.
Oh, nice.
So they all have binoculars, and I'm just learning as I go. This is my first year up there, so I didn't bring them the first couple the preseason games, and then I didn't bring them week 1. I brought them week 3, whenever that was. Yeah, week 3. And I'm looking at the sidelines on pregame, and I'm like, who is Robert Kraft with? And he was with Lil Baby and Meek Mill.
wow.
So and you have to, even though for the post-game interviews, you have to wear a mask in there. And I forgot mine upstairs. So I walk all the way down, take the elevator down for the post-game interviews. I'm like, shit, I can't get in. I go walk back. So I was going to go up, and I was like, screw it. I'll tune in on Zoom. It's going to be too late. And I'm walking back from the press conference room, and all of a sudden I get stopped. A crowd of people is there too. This is coaches, just people with in suits, cool. I don't know,
VIPs.
people more important than me that I'm walking back with. And all of a sudden, Meek Mill and Lil Baby come out with Robert Kraft. And I took out my phone and I'd get in trouble for this, but I was like, screw it, dude. This is Lil Baby. I'm going to send this to my friends. And they're like, no phones, no phones. And I'm like, he looks at me. I'm like, yo, baby, what's good? And he's like, what's up, fam? And dapped me up. He hopped in his golf. He had a Cadillac golf cart with Robert Kraft, hopped in it,
Wow.
and they took off. So I met Lil Baby.
That's incredible.
Incredible.
A complete accident. Yeah.
I love how,
Meek Mill was there too. He didn't say much, but Lil Baby was cool.
why does Kraft always hang out with the rap? Like, what's his deal with the rappers? He
He
loves
just
them.
gets down. He gets down.
Meek Mill is very close. He was close with like the Sixers owner there.
He shouldn't be hanging with him. He's a Philly guy. Philly.
Have you seen the sneakers Kraft wears, dude?
I had. That's
Rappers
what I'm.
love
I'm,
that guy.
I'm wondering
Rappers
where.
love
I think Kraft got Meek out of jail.
Yeah,
Right?
pretty sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That was big. They all stick together.
Yeah, collaborate. Best Philly-Boston collaboration out
And
there.
Meek Mill probably got
The
him out
only-
of the rub and tug situation or something.
Yeah, scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. I'll get on to the game. So last week was probably the best game of the season despite the loss. Obviously, I'm sick of moral victories despite losing. Just tell me a little bit about your summary of the game. I know Mac Jones, obviously, with the pick six, but other than that, I thought he played really well. It was a back and forth. The defense came up big in the first half and things like that. Obviously, they couldn't get any rush on Dak Prescott there. A whole game, especially in overtime, which led to the secondary not being able to cover CeeDee Lamb there, and that finish.
Yeah, I mean, when you put it into perspective, like they were like 2 plays away from getting 50-pieced on their home field. And like the defense played really well. That's just how I think Dallas is one of the best teams in football this year. Like it's crazy to say you think they're the Cowboys of the old. They might be, right? When it comes down the stretch, they might choke just like we're used to them. But they got a good team over there. And the score doesn't do the defense justice. I thought they played pretty well. I think the play calling towards the end of the game, that 3rd and 25, like I don't know what they were doing. Like they rush 4 there, put everybody back, right? Like and they brought pressure, and it was they played basically man coverage from what I saw, and it's like a one-on-one with CeeDee Lamb. It's like pick your poison with him or Amari Cooper, right?
Yeah, right. For sure.
Yeah, and like credit to Jalen Mills, I think he's been better than advertised this year.
For
sure. I don't even think the coverage was that bad. And Dak Prescott, I mean, like talk about a guy who's easy to root for. His whole story, 4th round pick, what he went through with his mom and brother. Mm-hmm. Tom Brady should be the MVP, but they hate to give it to him. I think it's hard not to give it to Dak Prescott considering everything he's been through last year. He played really well. And like I said, the game as a whole, like it's just, again, like 2 or 3 plays away from really winning that game. And the play calling too, that was just the biggest thing, right? The conservative approach on offense towards the end of the first half. Yeah, like Bill Belichick used to be one of the most aggressive coaches. And I think since Indy in 2008, when they went in 4th and 3 and ended up losing, like he hates going for it now. End of the half, they're up by 3. They get the ball at half. Well, how many times were we so used to Tom Brady in that situation? Go down, get a field goal, get the ball at half, go down, put 7, game's over.
Game's over.
Yep,
You're
the
chasing
swing.
2.
There it is, yeah.
Yeah, and they knee it out, and they get the ball at half. And I forget what they did on their first drive, but like that was a perfect chance. You had 2 timeouts. I know you're in your own territory. Yeah, and then punting in overtime, 4th and 3. You talk about Zerline and his it's like, all right, if you're going to punt there in the first place, Jake Bailey, who was awesome last year, he's not been good this year. It's like he punted to like 40 yards. They took over the 25. Like you can't, if you're going to punt, pin him inside the 5.
Yeah, he's getting too afraid of touching it back. He should just let it rip.
Yeah, so I just think it's just like you talk about these moral victories, and like they were cool against Tampa, right? Like it's like, all right, we just took the Bucs. Like what can this team be? But now they're 2-4, and they've beaten the Jets and Texans, and they'll be 3-4 this weekend, beating the 2 worst teams in football.
They better.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, they can play. It's
Don't go
frustrating
that
because
far
they
down.
can play.
Don't go that far down.
They can play with anybody. Like that's the problem. Like the Bucs, Cowboys, 2 of the top 5 teams in the league, and they took them down to the wire. I mean, they're like I said, they're probably 5 plays away from being 4-2 at least.
Yeah, the
At
Saints was
least.
the only one that was
Yeah.
like the Saints just fucking
Yeah.
pummeled them. Yeah,
Yeah.
like, that was
They
the
did.
only one.
On me, the sexiest topic of the Patriots all season has obviously been the rookie quarterback. I think he's shown a lot of promise and a lot of also immaturity like that over the top there to pick 6 Diggs that was including of what he's shown as being a rookie. But I think we've seen a lot of promise from him, and he could definitely be the guy going forward. I just think they've won games that they should have won this year, and they really haven't won any games yet that like are iffy or they're not supposed to win those games. So until that opportunity comes, until that happens, this is all nice and all of the Mac Jones great start through the first 6 games, but we want to see some more W's here. As being New England Patriots fans the last 20 years, you kind of get spoiled and you're being like, oh my God, 2-4, like. I'm looking at the draft already.
I know. Yeah, I mean, he's been good. Like I said, I think he's working with a conservative play caller that they're slowly opening up the playbook for him. But in terms of the way he carries himself, like that was the biggest why I wanted him the most. And I was a big Justin Fields guy coming out. I could never see them going to get him just because the style of offense that they run here, like Fields is so talented. He's much more talented than Mac Jones. But when you have to go through the right protections and reads and all these things that, Josh McDaniels likes to do, I just think Mac Jones fit that perfectly. And like I said, he's of the five, he's probably not the most talented. He's probably the least, but I think playing quarterback in the NFL is like 80% between the years, and he's shown he can do that. So I'm excited for the future. They got their guy and he fell right into their lap. So no complaints there.
Hell of a pass to Hunter Henry. Hell of
I
a
was
ball.
gonna say,
Hell of a ball on
Hunter
that one.
everybody was all about Jonnu Smith being the catcher, and he's just been a complete disappointment. And it seems like Hunter Henry is kind of finding his place in this offense. I think last week he had a few catches. That was a perfect.
He's solid. He's going to be fine. I'm not worried about him.
But is it kind of the Belichick kind of setting it up on play calls? Is Jonnu Smith going to kind of bounce back and get targeted more? Or is he just a bust?
I don't know. It's weird. Like the Saints game, he had the yips. Like he forgot how to catch the ball. He's doing something with his feet when he's catching.
It's like
they're
the worst
trying,
game I've
man.
ever seen.
Yeah, worst tight end
And he
performance
can-
I've seen in my life.
He can be such a threat. Like Hunter Henry was brought here to be a seam runner and make his presence felt in the red zone, which that we've seen the last 3 games. And Jonnu Smith was that guy who could kind of open up the field. You could do a bunch of things with him, right? He played running back sometimes. You'd run him on a crosser, underneath stuff, make plays with the ball in his hands.
A true
and they're
athlete,
trying to do that, but he I don't know if it's a scheme thing or he can't get under control with the playbook and figure out where he needs to be. But he's a hell of a player. Like I think he fits what they want to do here, and I think he definitely has a role. It's just taking him a little bit of time. Like the preseason, he looked great, right?
Yeah,
like you were like, wow. And Henry didn't play, so maybe that had something to do with it too. But his snap count's gone down each week. I'm still waiting for those two to play on the field together for the whole, for 80% of the snaps, and we've yet to see it. So.
And that's where he's got to step up because, Bill doesn't care what your contract says, dude. Like, you're going to lose snaps if you suck. Like, that's just, like, what's going to happen.
For me, too, like, obviously the offensive line has been, a disappointment in most of the games this season. And Damian Harris is the clear, running back one, no matter, everyone's fumbled at this point. James White going out. So, you bring around Brandon Bolden as your third down back, and it drives everyone crazy. You saw for the first time in probably the last 3 games or so, Stevenson, catch one out in the flat, or whether it was the first time seeing a running back, have a great, positive gain on a pass since, James White has been in the lineup. I don't like Brandon Bolden at all, even on the. I don't even get
Special teamer.
Yeah, I don't even get the special team either. They have enough special teamers. Like, why is he even on the roster? It drives me absolutely nuts that this guy's even playing anymore. And let him go play in Miami, because that one game a year he comes and plays New England, he'll score 3 touchdowns and shut everyone up. But when he's in a Patriots uniform and he's on the offensive side of the ball, outside, you were in Houston 2 weeks ago. That sweep was great. But other than that, he's been not just a disappointment. We knew he was going to be a disappointment. I'm just up in arms about it.
Yeah, and that's it. The problem with this special teams unit is Bill carries of their 53-man roster, there's 10 guys on there that are just core special teamers.
Yeah.
So, and they have the worst punt unit in the league. They get nothing from the kick return game. Gunnar Olszewski's great. He was an all-pro. I think the punt, in terms of punt returning, he can do it.
Yep. But
for Bolden, I think he's on the field because he's the most veteran running back, right? In third down, it's big in pass protection. Ramondre Stevenson's got all the talent, but him coming out of Oklahoma, the biggest red flag with him is he can't pass protect. He has no idea who's coming, what to do. J.J. Taylor's too small. I still think he's learning. So they got Bolden on the field for that, but I think it should be just for that, right? You don't have to give him the ball on third and 10, third and 5. Yeah, they don't have to give him the ball.
Ridiculous.
Just put him in there I think he knows he can block. He knows how to pass protect, but just have him in there for that. I don't know what his role is. They speak very highly of him. I think he's a leader. He's been there. He knows how to win. But in terms of him contributing on the field, he brings 0 value. So it's a head scratcher.
Yeah, I kind of see the trade deadlines coming up. I think his name is Marlon Mack from the Colts. Just one example of guys who they could bring in who could be an effective third down back. And I think they need to bring someone in, unless they just completely torch the season if they keep losing here. But making the playoffs is not going to happen if you have a third down back as in Brandon Bolden. I don't care if he's like a better pass protection guy than Stevenson. I don't want him, like you said, the 3rd and 5, the dump outs. That is not going to work.
No.
No, and the problem, like Damian Harris is great, right? I mean, obviously the 2 fumbles and their pretty timely ones stunk, right? Like
awful,
that's if he doesn't have that, like you're talking about a really good season for him, and he's definitely their running back one. But the problem with him is, and it's been that way since Alabama, he has trouble staying on the field. Like you can't just run him wild 40 times a game. Like they do need another guy in there to take some of the pressure off. That's what was so great about James White. When you need a spark, you need to take Damian Harris off the field. You got a guy who's been there, done that. Now without him, you're kind of scraping at the ball. And that's why we're seeing Brandon Bolden. And I think we're starting to see Stevenson. Like he's starting to come on. He had a good game last week. I'd like to see him kind of in that Rex Burkhead role. He can do a little bit of everything. So I think down the stretch, if he can continue to improve, I think he'll be a big piece going forward. Yeah, long as if Damian Harris doesn't stay healthy, like they're in trouble.
Yeah, I think for Stevenson too, rookies like that, it just comes in confidence. Like you come into game one and you fumble and you don't play for 2 weeks, that can't do anything for someone's confidence. I don't care who you are.
No, he had a play where it was like him one-on-one with in the middle of the field with Van Der Esch, and he put him on skates, and I was like, wow, kid might be back a little bit.
Speaking of that, I think last week at the Patriots game, their like halftime thing was like a autograph signing from like Jonas Gray. It was just like a real catch-22.
Awesome.
Like, oh, he's never gonna play again.
I saw that. That's a good point.
We've been pretty negative so far, so I'm gonna bring some positivity to the situation. Judon has looked like an all-pro. Clearly the MVP of the team so far. And, people are sleeping and kind of talking smack about J.C. Jackson because he's covering the best receiver on each team every week. But I think he's played exceptionally well. Just give me a little rundown of what you kind of seen from Judon. And like you see, J.C. Jackson is now the true number 1 with Gilmore gone. And I think he's really shown some brightness in, this early season so far.
Yeah, Judon first. I mean, I don't remember. I mean, Chandler Jones, right? But obviously was traded. Like they haven't had a player like that since Chandler Jones, and he's up there, man. Like Gilmore was unbelievable, but I think if Matthew Judon can continue doing what he's doing, he's making the argument for one of the best free agent signings of all time, right? Like under Bill Belichick, like you don't see this guy he's averaging like a sack and a half a game. He plays the run well. Like that's why Chase Winovich, guys like that don't get on the field unless it's third down because he just tucks his ears back and goes getting the passer, but he can't play against the run. Yeah. Judon does everything. You can line him up anywhere. I might be, a little too early with that take, but I mean, he's been that good. And he's the type of guy who you want in that locker room. He demands a lot out of himself. I think he's the X factor of that defense. And what a signing for him and for a pretty decent price for, what he's putting up each week. And in terms of Jackson too, like you said, I think people are so used to that lockdown corner, right? It went from Talib to Revis to Malcolm Butler, who was really good here. Obviously the ending sucks, so people forget that. Then Gilmore. So you're expecting these these dogs, right? Like these Jalen Ramsey types that are just going to, I'll take DeAndre Hopkins and completely eliminate him. Like J.C. Jackson's not that type of corner. He doesn't have the size to do it, but he's definitely a cornerback one, right? Like his stats, I pulled him up the other day. Of the cornerbacks that have played 80% of snaps, he's top 5 in everything, right? Like everyone looks at his coverage stats and he's given up a lot of catches and a lot of yards. It's like he's guarding Amari Cooper every week or like CeeDee Lamb. Like those guys are going to get their touches.
Yeah, he's so good.
2021. Yeah. So, and the other thing too, like, with Gilmore and Jackson, like Jackson's 25 years old and going to cost he's homegrown, undrafted kid a lot cheaper than Stephon Gilmore would. The whole problem with Gilmore was like you knew this situation was coming where both of these guys are going to be free agents at the same time. And Gilmore's been bitching about money for 2 years and you sat on your hands until it was too late and you got nothing for him. That was a big one. Yeah. Kind of went on a rant there, but I'm team JC Jackson. Pay that man. He's your cornerback one for the next, I'd say 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, he's an easy franchise tag, though, coming this offseason, but I definitely would agree. Show the man some bills. I agree with that. So this week, like we talked about, the Jets coming to Gillette, opportunity for the first win at home. we like our gambling on this show kind of, so it's a 7-point spread. I think, them coming in, New England hungry. The Jets have played actually pretty well the last 2 weeks. A big win over the Titans, and they came back right with them there in London against Atlanta. Just kind of your thoughts on the game. I seen Wilson has been playing a lot better than he did with the 4 picks in New York against the Pats, 3-4 weeks ago, whenever it was.
That's probably the worst game of his career.
Yeah,
ends up being.
He should put that one behind him.
Yeah, I was saying it on our show, and you guys will probably feel this week's just the worst because for 20 years you know what's going to happen, right? No matter how many personnel, how many coaching changes, it's still the same Jets team. And I was big on Zach Wilson coming out. I still am. I think that kid's super talented. Like he makes throws like Mahomes and Matthew Stafford type. Justin Herbert obviously a lot smaller than guys like that, but I think it's all about fit, and him and Lawrence were the 2 most talented, and they're just in the 2 worst situations.
Yeah.
So as for the Jets, though, yeah, like you got to make life miserable for him like they did in week 2. Just throw a bunch of looks at him. Like he's a kid who took probably 2 snaps under center in college. He's still learning how to read a defense. Like that's where Bill Belichick is so good, is right. He can just scheme things up to not these quarterbacks don't know, or like the Sam Darnold. I'm seeing ghosts like that. That's legit when you play a Belichick defense. Yeah. So this is a get right game though, right? Like they've had some tough losses. Like the Houston game was a good win, but I think you come out of that like, damn, like we should have lost that game. They had a nice 4th quarter comeback, and then last week in the Bucs game, like. I just want to see them come out and just dominate for 4 quarters, all three phases of the game. And I think this is a good opportunity for them to get their first win at home, right? Start trending in the right direction. They've had a tough stretch to their schedule. Dallas, New Orleans, played some tough defenses. It's kind of lightening up a little bit here. I know they got the Chargers next week, but I think that team's a little bit, they're a little overrated. Like they could easily win that game. So, they can use this week to get right and really start to kind of build that momentum, because as bad as they've played, Buffalo's 4-2 and they haven't played New England yet. And divisional games are tough. You're only 2 games out. They're not going to win the AFC East. Like I think we can be honest, but they're not out of it yet. But they got to start getting going. I think it's a good opportunity here.
That's why that loss last week just stings so much harder, because they lost. Oh man, I'll tell you right now. I was in Nashville for my brother's bachelor party last weekend. It was just all Buffalo fans, and I actually liked Buffalo, the Buffalo Bills going into it, kind of, because we kind of just
Bills
own
Mafia,
them.
yeah.
But I hate Bills Mafia. I want nothing to do with them. And then when I had a flight on the way back during the game, and when they lost, I was like, "Let's go." I was like,
I know, and if you think about it, like if New England wins Sunday or one of the games they should have won,
yeah,
you're 3-3, they're 4-2. We're like, okay, we're in this. We got Buffalo 2 more times, so
yeah,
that one stung.
The problem is we have Buffalo 2 more times, so I think that's the kicker there.
Well, one thing I liked about last week's game was the situational defense was kind of back. Like you had a pick in the end zone, they got the goal line fumble and stuff, because that's one of the biggest things the Pats always had.
Oh yeah, loss aside, that game was absolutely electric.
And there is something to say, how Bill forces turnovers more than most defenses. I feel like the Patriots are very good at timely turnovers. Even just forcing the turnover in general. And I don't think that's just coincidental. I don't think that's,
It's not just Malcolm Butler's pick. It's something like that. Something more of the puzzle there. I would say my next question was, you kind of talked about the Chargers a little bit. They have I think they have it looked like an easy road ahead, but the Chargers, have played well. I know they had a tough loss last week. Everyone's blaming it because they had to play later in the day when they were in Baltimore. The Browns, actually, they just lost Baker Mayfield. The Panthers are kind of on the downside. And the Falcons. Yeah. So, like you said, these are all 4 winnable games, include 5 winnable games, including the Jets. I just think this is a big part of their season. And, if they're even able to go 3-2 and get back to 500 at, what's that math there, like 6-6 or something like that. That would be like a tremendous win and a big opportunity for themselves to, you have those 2 Bills games. I know you don't look good going into those games, but if somehow you're able to squeak that out, you can never say never to that 7 seed. I mean, you're only a game out of the 7 seed. I realize you get dealing with the Chiefs and everything like that, but there's still an opportunity for this team to grab something. There's still 11 games left.
You think 6-6 is playoff worthy?
I think with 4 games. What's that? 4 games left.
It'll
5
make the
games
end of
left.
the year.
It'll make the end of the year better. It'll make the end of the year better.
That game 17 has messed my head.
Yeah, shit will matter more. Yeah, like we'll care. like towards the end.
Before the Buffalo game, though, you got Tennessee. They can win that game. Atlanta, on a short week, they can win that game. Cleveland, like, I know they game away from the AFC Championship game last year. They're battling injuries. Baker's not right. Like, that game's at home. I know they're 0-4 at home, but that's a winnable game. I think they can beat the Panthers. Like, it's not out of the question. They go, and I don't think they will. What's that? Their next 6 games, they go 6-0. If you go 4-2, right? Like you said, you get 6-6, even 5-1, and get to 7-5. I think you're in the mix. And like I said, I think the Patriots, they're a year or two away from really being contenders if they continue to develop Mac Jones and each offseason. They've drafted much better the last 2 years. They continue to draft well and develop these guys. Like, they're still a year or two away from being true contenders in the AFC if they keep, trending in the right direction. But I think making the playoffs, even as a 7 seed, and you lose the first game big. After this stretch, after what they started, that's an accomplishment of its whole. And you want to get this kid as much exposure as you can and as many big games as you can early on in his career.
And definitely for like Patriots fans, listen, like last year when like I understand the 7th seed was like 11-5, something crazy like that. But when like we had meaningless football with like 4 games left, that was just so disheartening. Like, you never see that around here at all. Obviously, Tom Brady's gone, but I think being in the mix with, a couple games to go is big for anyone around here.
Yeah, the mix was hilarious last year. It was there was still like some crazy prayer that they could get in those meaningless games.
Yeah,
and it was like 8 teams had to lose. We needed to win like 3 in a row or something.
Yeah.
Like, it was something nuts. Didn't happen.
And then the Bears get an 8-8. I don't get it.
Don't worry.
So Tom Brady question here. You saw that Super Bowl last year. I think you're a little younger than me. So you've probably seen Tom Brady in a Patriots uniform your whole like livelihood of watching football. So when I went and watched that game, it was like seeing the Patriots in the Super Bowl again against the Chiefs. Just tell me what your feels were watching that game. And, it was kick-ass. It was the biggest kind of fuck you to the Patriots, I think, reaching the Super Bowl and winning. It was incredible.
Yeah, I don't know. If it wasn't versus the Chiefs, I don't know how I'd like, maybe I would feel a little bit more indifferent on it, but I can't stand the Chiefs, especially what, Andy Reid's fucking son did that week too. Like, just a bunch of scum. I can't stand the Chiefs. Like, I feel like
let it ride.
Yeah, like it, and I like Mahomes. Like, I think he's a likable dude that plays the right way, says the right thing. Super talented, but he's got a ton of baggage with him.
Did you see his brother dancing on Sean Taylor's number?
I wanted to like fly and punch him in the face like myself for that.
Yeah,
big fan of the U.
In terms of that, like, maybe if it was versus a more neutral team, like even like Buffalo, who you want to hate, I just feel like after seeing them and what they went through the last 20 years, like, they're kind of a likable team. I like Josh Allen, but in terms of Brady and that Super Bowl, like, it was weird all year, but like, you were so focused on the Patriots and what they were going to do each week, and it was COVID. It just like, it was so weird, such a weird year looking back on it. But
fumbles and cost us 2 games and fucking
sucks. Don't get me going on that. But no, I was happy for him. I think like when you kind of look back on it, it's like all good things got to come to an end. Yeah, it sucks he couldn't retire here, but you got to be happy. Like the guy's going to go into the Hall of Fame as a Patriot, and people will talk about this guy for the next 200 years. Yeah. He's still playing at MVP level at 45 years old. Like, you literally don't see this anymore.
We asked someone about kind of the same question, and he was like
everyone.
Yeah.
And he was like, maybe you even said, he was like, yeah, sometimes, like, his mother was, like, interviewed, and she was like, yeah, sometimes I still catch him saying, go Patriots.
Oh, it was Barth. It was Alex Barth.
Yeah, so, like, that, I thought that was pretty cool. Like, just even still in Tampa, he's just in that mindset.
Yeah,
he
we're
said,
still
go
there.
Patriots. Like,
We're still in
And I actually, I got the Wickersham book. So I'm going to dive into that a little bit. Who knows how true it is, but I like a good conspiracy theory, whatever.
Yeah,
it's good drama. I think it's because I want a 30 for 30, like Last Dance type thing on the Patriots. And that's the closest thing we've got right now. So that's why I'm interested in it.
There.
Yeah,
I hope so.
Belichick's got to retire, and then people won't be afraid to
let it rip. Yeah.
I will say too, though, like, I think the week leading up to that game, like, I thought it'd be a lot more, like, obviously there was a ton of buzz. I don't think that's the right word, but more like standoffish. I think both sides were super like appreciative. Like, you heard Bill talk about him all week, praising him and how thankful he was, and Tom too. Like, I know his dad came out and Guerrero was running his mouth. But Tom too is like, listen, like I have no hard feelings. Like it's just all good things come to an end. We both wanted different things. Like I thought that was pretty cool. I think that you saw the professionalism and who really knows how they feel about each other personally. I think them talking for 25 minutes after the game, like I'd love to be a fly on the wall for that conversation.
Guerrero's a
But-
giant pussy, by the way.
Oh no, like
Fuck Alex Guerrero.
I'm like obviously a Patriot. Like I love the Patriots. I think everyone here does. But like Guerrero is such a piece of shit.
that guy's a
I think
loser.
everyone can agree on that.
I mean, maybe if he's the reason we
Loser.
won all those Super Bowls, fine. I still will not give him credit for it. I don't care. Like, no.
Yeah, he's a snake oil salesman.
Yeah,
That's all you.
exactly.
My last question
No.
before I let you go, Rye. So, favorite to win the Super Bowl. What's going to be your Super Bowl matchup, and who's going to win here?
That's a tough one. I like Buffalo out of the AFC. I think that team was so close last year. I think Josh Allen, there's so many MVPs this year. I think I've named 3 of them already, but he'll certainly be in the running. The NFC is tough. Like that's wide open. I think
Wide open.
it's hard to count out Tom Brady in the Bucs, like just because he's still playing at an elite level. But I don't know. That defense is so banged up. They pulled Richard Sherman off the streets. He played a game in 2 days. Like that's how bad their secondary is.
Fuck, yeah, they were like the playbook doesn't even matter.
It's crazy because it's two franchises that have history versus each other and 2 franchises that have choked for a while. But if I had a gun to my head right now, I'd have to say Bills Cowboys. Through the first 6 weeks, I think those
Love
2
it.
teams are electric. I'm gonna go Bills Cowboys.
Oh wow. Okay.
Love that. That would
be electric.
like a 2014 person. You're just like blowing their mind if you went back in time.
Oh my God, that's gonna happen.
Boy.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm still on the Tom Brady A train. I think that's just gonna happen. But I
hope so,
I do
man.
get your point of the corners going down, but you still got 11, 12 more weeks of people getting healthy, and that division doesn't look too good, honestly, with the record wise. So I think they're gonna at least run away with that and at least get a first home game. I think they only have 1 loss right now, so building up in the standings, I think is going to be big for them going forward. And Antonio Brown is Antonio Brown, like he's back.
nasty, man.
He's back.
So good.
he's very bad.
So he's the best receiver on that team. I mean, there's 3 good ones. Like people forgot because he went absolute ape shit for a year. Like he's 32. Like that dude he's a top 3 receiver of the last 10 years. He's so good. And he's number 3.
Bruce Arians finally figured out we need to chill with Gronk in the regular season, play him 6 games, and then he's just gonna absolutely ball out.
They don't
in the
need him.
playoffs. No, they don't need him at all till the playoffs. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even though
They have Braid. It's not like it's,
Braid, OJ Howard, and,
yeah,
you got a bunch of
they got
guys.
them all,
I'm
yeah.
surprised OJ Howard is still on that team.
I know. I can't believe he wasn't trade bait a year ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ryan, really appreciate you having coming on tonight. Kind of butchered that, but best of luck with everything going forward.
Yeah, talk to you guys soon. Anytime. Next time I'll come in studio. I'm not too far. I got to check that place out.
Hell yeah,
Sounds good, buddy.
man.
Sounds
Thanks
good.
a
We'll
lot.
see you here.
See you, fellas. Good to talk to you.
You too.
If you are looking to shed those extra quarantine pounds and get stronger, or you're an athlete looking to get a slight edge on your competition, we have the gym for you. Introducing Slight Edge Fitness and Performance, conveniently located in Braintree, Massachusetts at 101 French Avenue. With Craig Kelly, best in the business, Slight Edge is offering individual, small group, and sports performing training in a private gym setting. The Slight Edge trainers will be sure to get your heart rate up, increase strength, and help you reach your fitness goals with a customized program. Find them on Instagram using the handle @SlightEdgeFit or visit their website at slightedgefit.com and set up a free strategy session while you're there.
For the 4th time, moving on to our locks of the week. I will start briefly. I think Panthers on the road against one of the worst teams in the NFL in the New York Giants. It's a trap game. It's 3-point spread. I think Carolina is due for a win after losing 3 straight, including, Antan's lock of the week last week, the Panthers over the Vikings. I told you wrong. I said wrong. The Vikings are trending up, and the Panthers are trending down.
I know everything.
So Antan was wrong again. I was right. I'm taking the Panthers this week, though. 30 tickets. Tickets are as low as $30 at the MetLife Stadium there. Get there. If you're in New York, get there and bet on the
Why do you know
Panthers.
that?
I can see it through the app. What do you got, Steele?
We're gonna go a bye week. Atlanta Falcons over the Dolphins. The Dolphins are crumbling. They're just in shambles. You got a bye week. I mean, I know the Falcons are the Falcons. Obviously, not the greatest team on earth, but I think Matt Ryan. I think they can do good enough to beat the Dolphins because there's just nothing going for them even remotely.
Besides maybe trading for Deshaun Watson this week. That's about the only thing. going for them.
That is not a lock of the week anymore if they get Deshaun Watson, as anyone can.
Well, he
probably
won't
imagine.
play, but
Hey, Mike, dude.
Imagine their only
Jacoby
win.
Brissett.
Their only win is against us because we fumbled on like the 20-yard line. Imagine if we didn't fumble.
They just lost to the Jaguars.
Yeah, that's tough.
Like I'm telling, and it's only 2.5.
Did
so
my
like,
luck
let's go
cover?
Falcons.
Because I had the Jaguars.
Yeah, you nailed it. You nailed
Love
it.
it.
You nailed it.
Good for you.
On time, what's your lock of the week?
It's probably an over.
Okay.
How'd you know?
Because I know.
It's
how
either
you
an
rock.
over and under, so
He's a producer now. He can read minds.
Give it to me.
Tampa Bay versus Chicago, 47. Wow, I really got to be up here, huh?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're awful, man.
It's over 47. It's at home. The Bears' defense isn't as scary as it once was.
Wrong.
Justin Fields can score
Wrong.
in the NFL. Cool. And Tom Brady's going to put up 34. All you gotta do is get 2 scores by the Chicago, a touchdown and a field goal. It's covered.
31-10 Bucks loss. Anton.
It's okay. We'll see.
I don't know.
So you got over?
Over.
Keep track.
got the notebook going back there. The producer. Got
He doesn't even have the cards in front of him. don't think
I
he
have
knows.
no idea. Like, give
probably just a bunch of stick figures over there if we walk over there.
me the who the Chargers playing this weekend.
Chargers are on a bye.
Of course.
Tough scene. Yeah, hate to see that. Get him out there.
Give me 2 seconds. I got nothing.
Okay.
I'm on a bye this week as well.
Okay, good bye week.
I've been winning you guys so much money. I need a breather.
Yeah, we'll get down to the primetime game. 8:20. Niners are hosting the Colts here. I don't think Jimmy G's back. I believe it's still the up and coming Trey Lance there. So the San Fran's favored by four points after I think losing 3 games in a row. I'm gonna go with the road team here, and I'm gonna go money line. I think you rip the Colts. I think Carson Wentz is playing check down football. Deebo Samuel's gonna make cake up and really help out my fantasy team this week. But the Colts have been trained like they were right there with Baltimore. They should have won. They should be a 3-3 ball club right now. I think the Colts are going to be playing better football ahead. I think it starts Sunday night.
I like the Colts too. Jonathan Taylor just bounced back big time last
Yeah.
week. He had like 145 yards.
And the
I
week
think.
before he was great too with
Yep.
like the receiving yards and.
So I think their offense is starting to click now. Carson Wentz and Jonathan Taylor, they're starting to figure it out. And that could be a pretty lethal offense if they all get it together.
Yeah, I mean he's hitting Paris Campbell, he's hitting Pittman, he's got some weapons, but I think they get ahead and then they pound the ball on San Fran. I think that I'm taking the under 44.
Their defense is still really hurt, right? San Fran's. Their defense is still banged up bad,
but I
right?
also will take +4 on the Colts as well.
Oh, you actually took a game?
I'll double dip
Yeah.
it. I'll double dip it.
Dabbling.
I love my Colts, you know that. I won't take money line. I think it's going to be a tight one. I'm not confident enough.
I'm
Grow
taking
up.
them. I'm letting it rip at Levi Stadium. Colts night. What do you think?
I gotta go Niners just because everyone's on the Colts. I gotta play contrary.
He's such a fade. He's such a fade over there.
This is either going to be your best week at that producer's chair or your absolute worst. Like, you're going to either be in that for life or just, like, never touch that thing ever again.
I'll be over here all the time.
probably gonna be
We'll
never
finish
touched.
off our NFL picks for Week 7 here as the Jameis Winston Saints are coming off a bye week, right? They didn't play last week against the Seattle Seahawks without Russell Wilson. Geno Smith just costing. I mean, the first week wasn't his fault. Last week was his fault. Didn't show up in the first half. They actually started moving the ball against Pittsburgh pretty well there. But New Orleans, 4.5 favorites on the road. Give me another away team here. I think they win by a touchdown. I think the Seahawks, I was just like, after the first half last week, I was like, all right, this team's not going to do anything. And they came back and they came out like a ball of fire. Bat out of hell, whatever you want to say. But overall, I think the Saints are a good team trending up. It's just unfortunate the Buccaneers are in their division. They're going to be looking for a wild card spot come this postseason. I think Jameis Winston's going to show out, and dumping the ball at Alvin Kamara there is a pretty good luxury to have.
So who'd you pick? Saints?
Saints 4.5.
Okay.
I like the Saints. I think this game's going to be so ugly because I think Monday night under the lights, I think Jameis Winston's going to absolutely stink it up, and so is Geno, and so is the other one, Geno Smith.
Is this gonna get gross?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a terrible game. Maybe 3 picks each of them. Like it's going to be ugly.
That's electricity though.
Yeah, no, like perfect Monday night. That's like what you want.
That's
so there
fun to
Monday
watch.
night. That's what I'm saying.
Watching Jameis Winston throw
Who'd
an
you pick?
interception.
So no Saints. I think the Saints are going to win. Yes, pick the Saints, but it's going to be an ugly, ugly game.
I think the Saints actually absolutely murder this team.
4.5. Yeah.
I think it's like I think the line should be 11.5.
Good.
The Saints defense is good. The Seahawks defense is really bad. Geno Smith is really bad. I think.
So you're seeing value.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of value. I think.
Are you still
I think,
addicted to it?
Of course I am.
Haven't heard you say it in a while. I didn't know if you beat the addiction.
He's still struggling.
Silence was definite. Right there.
He didn't
Silence
get
was
it. He didn't get it.
Yeah, no, he didn't.
What do you mean?
Nothing. I'm just ready to come over this table at you.
Let's take it easy,
Hey, he's
man.
in the producer's chair. Don't touch
Magic,
him.
Magic.
Jameis Winston throws over 2.5 touchdowns, and Kamara scores 2 touchdowns.
Probably at least 2.
Nice
passes
prop
to him.
picks.
Yep.
I'm not going to fade this one.
Saints
I'm
4.5.
not- Yeah,
You
give me
like it?
Saints.
Over the Seahawks. Oh, quick, no analysis. Love it. Just give
No,
me what everyone else
Yeah,
has.
dude.
My analysis is Geno. Yeah,
Yeah,
Geno
fuck Geno
sucks.
Smith. Yeah,
Fuck Geno. That's good enough.
perfectly fine. Yeah, that works.
And I love Jameis. I hope he doesn't suck. I hope it's not sloppy. I hope they run, fucking kill him.
Jameis
Run
is also
train
the
on the
worst.
Seahawks.
Our last topic of the night tonight, we'll talk about the NBA. Save some Bruins for next week. The Celtics played opening night on the road at Madison Square Garden, dropping a hard-fought battle, no defensive battle, to the New York Knicks, 138-134 in double overtime. Jaylen Brown, 20 points in the first half, ended 16 for 30, 46 points. Obviously, there wasn't anything to take away defensively. Something to take out of, Jaylen Brown really being the true duo itself. I know Jason Tatum didn't have the best game,
Terrible. Terrible.
but
He lost us the game.
yeah.
He played terribly.
He could not put the ball in the bucket. If
He is
if
an
scores
absolute stud, but he was
that
terrible last
that game's over in the third quarter. We win. We're up 15, 16 points in the third quarter. It's never even close. We're down. The Knicks are a great team. Me and Adam were discussing this. They're deep. It's kind of how the Celtics were built with that. That team a few years ago. There's no true superstar. They have Kemba. Fournier absolutely killed us in that overtime. I think
God,
he hit
that was
about
brutal.
4 straight threes in about
That was
30
terrible.
seconds.
My point is, like, if you have Derrick Rose coming off the bench, like, you're a great team.
Oh, this is in 2003.
Yeah, it's
Adam.
20. It's about to be 2022.
But he
dude.
could have been an
Like,
all-star. Like, all I'm saying is they're pretty deep.
No, they're extremely.
And
deep.
what's his name?
Obi Toppin.
He was sensational around the
Awesome.
rim. He was unbelievable.
Obi Toppin. I mean, they have Julius Randle. They have Kemba. They have Fournier. They're very, very deep.
Kemba
They're very,
Walker's
very
there
good.
now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking Nick. Hate to see it.
What's his name? RJ.
RJ Barrett. Yeah.
Barrett. Yeah. He didn't play the greatest game, but honestly though, I'm tired of Marcus Smart's threes. I honestly just want to trade him at this point.
I've
I know
wanted to
he's
trade him
great.
for a while. I love Marcus
I
Smart
love him too, and I'm just done. I'm just done with it. You know who looked very good is Grant Williams.
Yeah,
he
it's
sat.
not-
He
yeah.
sat in that corner, and he was. If he can hit those threes, and he's going to be a great player on this team.
Yeah, he had a pretty good all-around game too.
Yeah, he
boards
did.
and assists and
He
stuff.
doesn't
Yeah,
try to
he
do
did a
too
little
much. He's just an he's a solid defender.
If he can stay in that corner and hit those threes,
And with
like,
Jalen, he was saying he would still like he could feel his heart, like he was still having some COVID effects. And I mean, if you're having effects like that and you're scoring 46, let's go.
I've never
The
been
future is
so,
bright.
I've never been so.
He's a superhero now.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like if you're feeling like shit.
on Jaylen Brown, like one day I'm like he's the second piece of an NBA championship team. The other day I'm like, yeah, trade him for Cat right now.
Because he doesn't play that isolation bullshit that Jason Tatum does. Jason
that's
Tatum will
correct.
just go in the corner, dribble the ball for 10 seconds, and then shoot it. And if he makes it, he looks like an all-star, and he misses it. It's like, what the fuck? Just don't do that. Don't get yourself in that situation. Play a pick and roll. Go to the rim. Get your teammates involved. Don't just play this isolation shit. That's not going to win you a championship. That's not going to get you deep going in the playoffs. While I'm on the tangent here, I'm going to go off. After game one, I'm done with Dennis Schroeder. I'm done. I literally want nothing
He was
to do with him.
fantastic.
All right, just an example. I know I'm just nitpicking here, but minus 16 when he's on the floor. He just seems so inconsistent to me. I don't like his game.
Schroeder was great on the pick and roll. I think,
12 and 8 looks pretty good on that.
you
thing,
know,
man.
but so
plus minus.
We're
It's a
fucked if the
dude.
Time Lord can't stay healthy. If we're going into
Very
the playoffs
big,
again
yes.
without him, we're done. It doesn't matter who, we have the whole other team. We're won 20 in a row. If we don't have a healthy Time Lord, which I don't think we will. I don't think he can possibly do it. We're fucked.
One of the biggest questions I was asking myself watching that game last night was, wow, this team like really like cut off the fat of this bench. I mean, Carson Edwards, love tackle fall, but they're gone. And they had 8, including Romeo Langford, who wasn't horrible.
Look good.
Yeah. But what's this team gonna look like when the guys who were out, like Quentin Richardson and Al Horford, comes back? I think this team's gonna look pretty well, and overall, I think this is gonna be a very underrated team because not a lot.
Richardson.
Josh, what did I say, Quentin? Oh man, dropping the ball there.
I was gonna say he sounds old.
He was
old
that
school.
Clippers badass.
Yeah. Either way, Josh
Corey McGinnis?
Richardson acquired by the Mavericks there. So at least I knew
You
that.
know, a guy was badass when you remember the name Quentin.
And he's a good player.
Is Josh Richardson the guy who used to play on the fucking Warriors?
Yep.
Yeah,
he's on
he's still in the league?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have him?
He's solid.
Get the
is solid.
jersey. Get the jersey.
Love it.
No, you're thinking of the dunker.
No, yeah.
I am
He's
thinking of the
dunker.
duck.
You're thinking you're way back.
Still get the jersey.
It's a different one.
Overall, seeing the Knicks last
You're
night.
thinking Jason Richardson.
Seeing the Knicks last night,
Yes.
the teams that are playing the Eastern Conference, the Bucks, the Nets, even with this all drama going on in Philly, I think Philly's another team that could be pretty good. And then you saw the Knicks very well, and then I think Atlanta will be right back in that spot, and then the Celtics are in the mix there. I'm not saying they're the last out of that crew, but I'm saying those are the teams there that you'll look an eye on and be like, okay, that's going to be in the postseason. Now the question is, can they get by the first round this year? I think that's a win for the Celtics.
This Eastern Conference is just a mix of like going up against those really the top 2 teams,
Top
and
2.
everyone else just gets shoveled around a little bit. And
top
can
2
you,
and
can you
everyone
beat
else.
them? Can you
Yeah.
fucking beat them?
It's the top 2 and everyone else.
And now that Giannis hits threes, no.
Yeah.
Like,
I
you can't.
mean that Bucks team is
Giannis does pull up
scary.
threes.
Yeah.
He does pull up
fucking
threes now, dude.
scary. Yeah, that Bucks team is really, really, really good.
He wants best in the league. He wants that title. If he doesn't,
He already
if
got
people, I agree. But
wants
some
the second
people,
one.
some people probably won't give him that recognition as best player.
You know what
He
his
is.
favorite ring is?
The next one.
Boom.
They had
That-
nice rings, by the way.
Oh, great ring.
Those things were amazing. They were.
Yeah, Elijah Brian, we're still waiting for you to come on. Yeah.
What happened to Elijah?
He's too Hollywood for us.
Too old.
has
Fuck.
Ben Simmons passed Kyrie Irving as the biggest loser in your opinion?
No, but he's
Not
close.
even close.
He's dangerously close.
Not even close.
I think it's very close.
Kyrie Irving is no.
Yeah, but
no,
he's greater like on the court. Like now that Ben Simmons, who was a loser on the court, is now a loser.
I like
off the
Kyrie.
court.
That whole dub thing of the Coach Carter scene where
Amazing.
like, Timo Cruz, that was incredible. That was everything you ever wanted.
Incredible.
And you knew it. You knew
The
it.
thing is, I would take Ben Simmons here in a heartbeat. I would not accept Kyrie Irving back.
I agree.
I wouldn't accept either. of them.
Kyrie-
That's a good point.
Kyrie Irving is a
accept-
Can't bring him back here.
no.
Yeah,
He's just a loose cannon. At least like we all know, like Ben Simmons just doesn't want to be in Philly.
And
Like that-
do you blame him?
No, I don't blame him at all.
Don't be a little bitch
Do you
about
think
it.
he's been tanking his game on purpose? Do you think
No.
this has all been strategic?
No.
There's no way, dude, like Philly, like I don't want to be in Philly either, but like, dude, he's like, dude, like you're a professional athlete, and he's not doing what.
No,
you
he's
should
being
be
a little
at
baby
all.
back
Yeah,
bitch.
like
But, Kyrie Irving's worse.
Who even wants Ben? Who's been hitting him up?
Well, the thing is,
Who's his option?
the thing is
People
that
are lowballing them.
yeah,
left and right,
you
bro.
got to lowball them. Like, why would you give them anything for someone who wants to get out of there?
I think the quote today
I
was
give him 2 first-round picks.
Maury,
Celtics.
Maury,
Oh, yeah.
the
exactly.
owner of or GM of the 76ers, was like, dude, I'll wait 4 years. Like, I think he said that.
But
today.
my thing
he was
with
like,
this-
I'll wait every bit of it.
Let's think about this for a second. If he does go in the
Love that
Celtics,
Philly.
I don't want him to be like a leading scorer. I want him to complement Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. But obviously, probably Jaylen Brown's gonna have to go if you trade that. So I wouldn't take that trade then.
I would, and then you just move Brown to the Minnesota, get Carl Anthony Towns, and now we're playing with fire.
What are you talking
Took
about?
over
No,
So we'd be Jason.
No, you do not need to give up Jaylen Brown for Ben Simmons. Are you fucking kidding me?
I think you would.
I would
think
I
so.
would
This
riot
roster-
in the streets at
Give
that trade.
give up
I
Marcus.
would
Give
be
up Marcus
livid
Smart
at
in the
that.
pick.
Now, if your trade was like, I'd be thrilled about that. But I think the whole Ben Simmons not being traded yet is why he like. That's the reason why. No one's gonna give him anything like that. So they're not gonna take that. They're gonna
Do you give up Marcus Smart and 2 first-round picks?
without even blinking.
Marcus Smart and one because
blank
fuck
foot
them.
See, no, I'd give up 2.
I'd give up too.
And Marcus?
Yeah, but then
Yeah.
that actually like helps them. I don't want to help them.
Well, I'm saying
would've fleeced them.
They would never give them to us.
Smart and one.
I'm sorry, but we've had
You
so
can help
many
them. Their
had
process isn't trusted anymore.
We've had so many draft picks, not to mention the Celtics are at least going to be in the middle of the mix, if not the better end of the so it's going to be a 15 through 25 pick. So I really don't care about that. I don't care about that at all. Feed me that all day.
Yeah, the name of the game is get better for this year.
If that's what it took,
So fuck it.
I mean,
I don't think that's what would take it all.
You think it would take more than that?
Way more. That's why I think
More
he's not
than
getting
Smart
traded.
and 2 first-round picks?
Yeah, that's why I think he's not getting traded. I think that's the reason why.
If that's what they're asking for, then fuck it. I mean, what do you?
That's what I'm saying. I think they'd be like, all right, Jaylen Brown, 2 first-round picks, and
Jaylen Brown's more valuable than Ben Simmons.
I agree. I couldn't agree more.
I don't know.
Exactly.
I thought this guy was easy. I thought we could trade Schroeder for him.
Hey, see, we're actually agreeing, though. This is actually pretty good content. Though. Fuck you. Folks, want to thank you guys for tuning in, as well as Ryan Spagnoli for coming on the pod, and Hedge Better for making this all possible at headquarters here. Big shout out to Slight Edge Fitness and Performance and Braintree. Hey, great getting Craig Kelly into the studio last week. It's time for us to get in the gym, along with Granite Links and Golf Club in Quincy, Mass, for making this all possible. Be safe out there. That's all from Steele Nazz. Let's go, Pats. Jets money line. Are you kidding me?
Dude.
Book it.
Let it rip, folks. Let it rip.